Today's video is sponsored by Raycon. Stick around to save 20% on your order for their quality Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic. For over 100 years, we have dreamt, nay, nightmarishly dramatized extraterrestrial life, and more importantly, how it really wishes to wipe us out. We've covered alien invasions before, from the Furons of Destroy All Humans, to the aliens of Independence Day, to the Martians of Mars Attacks, even to the Covenant of Halo, minus that pesky flood. But among the pantheon of alien alumni, one franchise has withstood as concrete generational trauma for over 100 years, and that is that of War of the Worlds. Written by H.G. Wells in 1898 as a science fiction classic, famously adapted into a radio broadcast in 1938 by Orson Welles, which caused widespread chaos over people thinking a real alien invasion was occurring. In 1953, Paramount released a feature film on the story with special effects that were out of this world. Fast forward 52 years later, where Spielberg made the most recognizable, Hollywood digestible, and honestly most terrifying adaptation of the story in 2005, and of course, earlier this year, the one of Ice Cube on a Zoom call. And of course, we also had a myriad of TV shows, plays, comic books, and more. Its cultural impact is astounding and timeless, to say the very least. Alien life watching over us to invade, to kill, to conquer, all with technology, language, and even anatomy beyond our understanding, truly influencing so much in science fiction, popular culture, and even politics across the world. The concept of them arriving to our hesitant confusion only for worldwide conflict to begin, not knowing entirely what this threat is that could vaporize us at any given moment, with no guarantee of humanity's continued survival. But there is one consistent thing that has always bothered me, though, about the narrative of War of the Worlds in every iteration, that all of Earth was fighting back against the invaders, even down to microbial life and the spread of disease, enough to infect and kill these spaceborne pirates who lacked the immunity to fight them off, as if we have earned it from our continued existence on this planet, sounding rather poetic and philosophical when Morgan Freeman is telling you all that of a stock footage. But it's mind-boggling to think that beings with so-called intellect that vastly exceeds our own, who constantly surveyed us for over a century, monitoring our progress as if we were microbes in a drop of water, having scoured every other planet for residents, noting their atmospheric conditions, being able to eradicate biomatter with laser and plasma weaponry, and just studying us inside and out. For them to just die within a few days of entering our atmosphere from germs? What if they actually used that intellect that the movies always portrayed them as having, and they just developed, vaccines, immunosuppressants, biohazard suits, or anything to just prevent a Deus Ex Machina endgame so that humans can win and we don't have to feel bad? Well, we are here to discuss the capabilities of this faux red menace, from their intelligence, information, strategies, technologies, weapons, and most importantly, not giving us as humanity an easy out, as today we are discussing why you wouldn't survive War of the Worlds if they actually prepared. The sound of those tripod horns can be loud and nightmare-inducing, but you can drown it out and deafen the sound of your impending doom thanks to today's sponsor, Raycon. Raycon's Everyday Earbuds Classic are souped up with a full arsenal of upgrades that make them a fantastic holiday gift. They have multi-point connectivity so you can pair with two devices at once, so no more having to switch back and forth between devices when playing a game on a handheld console and answering a call on your phone. Active noise cancellation, which means no more struggling to hear your favorite songs or shows, and a super comfortable ergonomic design that stays put no matter what you're doing, and no worrying about them popping out while on a run, whether that's for exercise or to escape otherworldly invaders. The new colors are absolutely stunning. Personally, I'm rocking the cool mint. I've never seen earbuds in this color before. My girlfriend thinks they're beautiful, and I've received many compliments on them.
That looks nice. Where'd you get those?
From Raycon.
Wow, those are really great.
Thank you.
They feel like an accessory that fits me and my style. Raycon delivers the same premium audio quality as the big brands, but at half the price. Add in over 3 million happy customers and a 30-day happiness guarantee, and there is zero reason to overpay. Heck, even my girlfriend uses hers pretty much from the time she wakes up till she goes to bed, with features like the quick charge function, where you get 10 minutes of charging, giving you 90 minutes of playtime, awareness mode that lets me hear what's happening around me while still enjoying my favorite music or radio broadcast. That feature has come in handy, especially when trying to multitask, and up to 32 hours of battery life with the case. They're definitely our favorite earbuds. The everyday earbuds classics are here for the holiday season. Raycon audio products are up to 20% off this holiday season. Just click the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/wowsuchgaming to save in Raycon audio products site-wide. Order by December 15th to guarantee delivery by Christmas to give that special someone a great gift that won't show up late. Now let's get into the video. While the origins of these otherworldly creatures vary from either the red planet of Mars or the darkest and coldest reaches of the Milky Way, their intent remains all the same. Time and time again, no matter their shape or form, the time period they descend in, or how their raising of Earth proceeded like some ill-fated game, it always began with the words of H.G. Wells. No one would have believed in the last years of the 19th century that human affairs were being watched from the timeless worlds of space. No one could have dreamed that we were being scrutinized as someone with a microscope studies creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. Few men even considered the possibility of life on other planets. And yet, across the gulf of space, minds immeasurably superior to ours regarded this Earth with envious eyes, and slowly and surely they drew their plans against us. While we will be dipping our toes into some adaptations of the original story, most of this will be taking direction from the 2005 Spielberg version, mostly due to the fact that it's the most blitzkrieg form of attack and a real sucker punch of an invasion that would come even more abruptly against us. The Martians not only have been monitoring us for countless ages, but have long since implanted war machines of the tripods deep into the Earth's crust, undetectable and further than most, if not all, normal human excavation and development efforts, so that we would never accidentally unearth these alien vehicles, possibly having put them there thousands of years ago as precautions for when their homeworlds would eventually be drained of resources, inevitably resorting to taking Earth in however way it developed along the path of human advancement, always under the microscope of these aliens, knowing no matter how we developed, that the machines they embedded in our planet would far exceed anything we created. During the time of surveillance, they will decide the appropriate time to attack will either be when they have no other options for their homeworld and race's continued survival, so Earth must be taken, or have decided that humanity's evolution in technology and weaponry was drawing too close to being a logistic threat to them and needed to finally be nipped in the bud, needing the highest human population possible before that line in the sand was crossed for them for various purposes. Once they have decided to invade, the initial dissension will be catastrophic worldwide. In the original stories, it was only a few and then many spaceborne cylinders crash landing to Earth, people approaching wanting nothing but peace or to find out what's going on, as these ships simply monitored their nearby areas. Humans, both enthusiastic and highly curious at the prospect of other intelligent life, will either slowly approach with white flags drawn or stand in awe at the harrowing sight. No matter the means of arrival, though, the aliens will blindside us. In the original book, the radio broadcast, the TV shows, the 1958 movie, and more, they always arrived via meteor-like entry to emerge and attack. In the 2005 movie, the Martians elected to enter underground tripods via an electrifying method. Martians entering pods and then jettisoning themselves from space via what looked like lightning bolts to the naked eye. It was via this method that these shock troopers were shot into the earth at incredible speeds to enter their war machines, causing giant sinkholes to appear and demolish the surrounding area, with preceding electromagnetic pulses sent out to disable all electronic devices within a multi-mile radius, rendering phones, cars, computers, and more instantly inoperable, nixing communication and rapid means of escape. It will all just seem like freak electrical storms and seismic activity had occurred. People will flood to the streets to figure out what is going on. Kind of like how when the electricity goes out in your neighborhood and everybody goes outside to see what's up. Everyone will be so confused and inquisitive, especially when the tripods begin to emerge, occurring by the tens of thousands across the planet. These war machines will warm up, stand tall out of crumbling rubble as something so oddly beautiful yet terrifying that a majority of people will be like a deer in the headlights, just guffawed at what they are bearing witness to. Once you have been spotted by these tripods harboring the unknown extraterrestrial life inside, the War of the Worlds will commence with a thunderous horn that seems like it bellows from the Valley of Death itself, but not as a warning to us, but as a beckoning call to them. With weapons and immediacy that leaves nothing behind, these horns will summon other tripods in the area to descend, sounding off how they have discovered more humans to exterminate. It matters not how they arrive, as the baseline point here is that we will not have any warning of their arrival and means of attack. Having existed completely off humanity's radar, no governmental entities or military forces picked up on these Martians' existence, let alone intentions or method of widespread attack. Concretely across all interpretations of War of the Worlds, these Martians knew every facet of every single global culture, major city, escape route, wartime efforts, weapons, and more. They will swiftly and promptly attack crucial points across the globe in order to cripple all military and government forces, destroying crucial electrical grids, weapons hangars, and wiping out world leaders. So we are like chickens with their heads cut off. They will target certain places to ensure escape is futile for any and everyone, as seen when the Martians destroyed the gigantic bridge in New Jersey at the beginning of the 2005 film. This shows that they know everything and will make sure that their process is easy and quick, dropping into highly populated areas to exterminate the largest pools of people possible, to whittle us down in number and cripple our spirits through sheer genocidal domination. Beyond their surprise global attack and disablement of electronics comes their greatest strength, their weaponry. The fighting machines, a la the tripods that they deploy to eradicate, harvest, and even landscape the planet. It's pretty damn well known what the main method of them killing you would be. It's those damn laser beams. Heat rays so concentrated that when charged and shot out at blistering speeds can hit a target and instantly vaporize them. In some renditions, an entire person, group of people, or even a vehicle will atomize and fade to nothing in seconds flat. In others, the heat ray will indiscriminately vaporize all organic matter that it hits, leaving behind nothing but a person's clothes and ashes of their body when hit. Some of these rays will have people disintegrate rapidly like they were charred wood going into nothingness. But with the death rays that can be dramatized in any color, sound effect, or horrific sci-fi fashion, nothing can quite compare to how they were described in the original books. If these aliens were to attack as originally conceived, there would be no visual indicator of these heat rays. They were described as being completely invisible. They were just concentrated heat shot through the air to instantly incinerate you, not seeing what exactly is killing you. Even if you had the capability to block it, there is nothing you can do about something you cannot see. Just those around you suddenly poofing into a black puff of smoke as the towering machines cleanse the land of us ants, like a kid with a magnifying glass using the sun to burn those scattered. What inorganic matter these rays of heat hit will simply either be destroyed, explode, or be set ablaze, burning everything marked by its influence. Armed efforts will be called in with full force to take down each of these tripods, but due to their advanced shielding technology, even heavy artillery will not be able to hit the machines directly. Invisible force fields will absorb all incoming damage, some getting through, but still it is high technology. Missiles, artillery shells, high power rounds, all just like a bug splattering on the windshield. And while they're brushing off our best live ammunition, they can fire back with their heat rays to one-shot us and any vehicle. And that's the vehicles that were not disabled by the initial entry EMPs. Over time, during their Undertale genocide run of Earth, these aliens are gonna need energy, both for their ships and for their bodies. Despite being otherworldly, they are still living beings that need to acquire energy to operate, eat, drink, sleep, the whole shebang. While pockets of people are scrambling to survive in open areas, the tripods will use attached tentacles to their underside to sweep up and collect people, placing them in cages while they continue to maneuver around. People in these holding cells will periodically be taken inside the anus of these machines, grinding and liquefying your body to a bloody pulp to use as fuel for their machines. Not only that, but to convert your biomatter into a chemical they will use in an aerosol to spray into devastated areas. The mist of 1,000 lost souls will cling to the earth and grow what is called red weed, planting seeds of this foreign fauna that cultivate and grow with the advent of our blood. They are what can be assumed to be native to the aliens' homeworld as used for crops and food, maybe even to drink. As they grow, the red weed will extend red vine-like growths to infest wherever it can reach. It is hypothesized that these plants are primarily what gave Mars its trademark red tint beyond the rocks and dust. The purpose of culminating the red weed so rapidly is theorized to either be to mark their territory for conquest so they know what they've taken over, for consumption as they eat this stuff, to reduce the plant life that we have that we rely on for oxygen and food, and maybe even to produce particles in the air that make Earth sustainable to them and not for us, invasively wiping out plant life to be the predominant fauna, making cactus-like growths that will clog waterways, dam up rivers, envelop buildings and bridges, and more to restrict where people can go, and even cause massive flooding in areas to wipe out scattered remnants of people. There will be no eating these alien plants, as their sickly metallic taste bears no nutrition for us and could also possibly be poisonous. The bottom line is these plants are taking over everything and making it to where we cannot exist further. Now, if you aren't either reduced to dust or blood fuel or weeded out by the weeds, you will have to hide amongst the rubble of the world, finding wherever you can to survive, trying to make as little noise as possible. The aliens will send out recon drones to monitor for remaining humans. Any slight noise will alert them and have the tripod ransack wherever you are to pick you up for harvesting. Your fate is sealed no matter where you go, and even if you do find a decent place to hide with ample provisions, the Earth may not be hospitable to exist in soon. Now, we are hitting the point of what everyone will be flooding into the comments to say, I'll just hide long enough for the germs to kill them off. Also, I'm built different. Earlier, I brought up the Deus Ex Machina that was bacteria being a sudden Uno reverse card against our alien invaders. To instead of us being wiped out as a species, they would suddenly all die at the drop of a biological dime? Nah, fuck that. I'm all for the preservation of humanity, but we gotta be realistic. Why the fuck would they eat, drink, and breathe our air without even considering the advent of bacteria? bacteria. You're saying that they have been watching over us for over a century, learning our pathing, strategies, ways of life, etc., but not once did they see us dying of illness, using biological warfare, seeing people in hospitals and think, oh shit, we got no immune system or immunities to whatever crap they be flinging around down there. We better prepare for that. They probably sterilized and wiped out disease eons ago on whatever godforsaken rock they hail from. But even if bacteria and disease have been long gone where they are, they would still take note of it on our world and have a record of it from theirs and plan accordingly. Were the aliens in every incarnation of War of the Worlds just super anti-vax? Regardless, these aliens would not realistically let themselves be killed off simply by bacteria. They would either develop immunities through gene therapy on each other and send down the least disease-prone soldiers to Earth, or create vaccines, immunosuppressants, biohazard suits, and filtration systems for food and water to prevent being afflicted by any germs. They would also more than likely have health monitoring of each alien's vitals to detect for any infection. Those that have signs or symptoms will be treated, quarantined, sent back up to space for testing, or even executed and burned. The gist is that they will avoid letting themselves be killed off by a veritably invisible threat that they would definitely know about. They have monitored and planned for far too long to let this be the way their efforts and existence crumble, especially with the advent of knowing they are probably taking over Earth because they have exhausted resources on their homeworld and their forwarding station of Mars, and wouldn't just go blindly to a new planet and not consider molecular microbes and bacteria. So, sorry, I get it. You read the book, you watched a bunch of the movies and TV shows and shit, but realistically, if they are gonna genocide us, they will be more than ready for any eventuality. With so many tripods eradicating large populaces and armed resistances in the first few days, things will be pretty grim from then on out. They could even send in those flying spaceships from the 1958 movie just in case we figure out that we could take out the part of the tripods and they could still disintegrate us. We have only seen one war machine in their arsenal. There's no telling what they have still lying out in space. Squads of pods lasering and poofing everyone they spot, sounding their horns when spotting any humans to link up and cause more effective destruction. Hell, for some of us, the sound of that horn will just cause a heart attack. Hunting for pockets of fleeing humans in order to process our blood and biomatter to make fuel and create invasive red weeds to chokehold various parts of the planet, to literally weed us out, to convert our little blue ball into a red one. The tripod attacks will effectively kill off a majority of the world's population in a matter of a few days to a few weeks, and the remainder of us out there will just be scraps to be recycled and repurposed for their terraforming of Earth. While other alien operations that we have discussed before have had similar outcomes to what we have described, this one is probably going to be the most thorough and brutal. This is a combined effort with little to no error on their part now that germs are not a failsafe for us. It will be less of a war of the worlds, with us throwing everything we have at them and failing in the initial conflicts and then eventually all dying out. It will simply be the end of our world.